Will then went on a profane tirade warning Chris not to mention his wife's name. Jada couldn't believe what she was hearing.
What is going on? Now, first of all, I'm really shocked because, mind you, I'm not there. We haven't called each other husband and wife in a long time. I'm like, what is going on right
keep
now?
My wife's name
out of your mouth, right? And I'm like, but now I'm really worried for Will because I don't know what's going on.
What viewers did not see at the time, while Oscar clips were being shown, was Chris Rock leaning over the stage to talk to Jada.
And Chris looks to me and he says, Jada, I meant no harm.
Will then went on a profane tirade warning Chris not to mention his wife's name. Jada couldn't believe what she was hearing. What is going on? Now, first of all, I'm really shocked because, mind you, I'm not there. We haven't called each other husband and wife in a long time. But I'm like, what is going on right now? Wife's name out of your mouth, right? And I'm like, but now I'm really worried for Will because I don't know what's going on. What viewers did not see at the time while Oscar clips were being shown was Chris Rock leaning over the stage to talk to Jada. And Chris looks to me and he says, Jada, I meant you. I meant no harm. Child, it looks like Will and Jada ain't even got it in them to keep their bad marriage going for life. Because word on the street is that Jada just announced that they are getting divorced and everybody's like, finally, because there's only so much you can take in a bad marriage before snapping. But what exactly got the two of them finally ready to check out of their partnership? And does it have anything to do with those DL allegations that have been floating around about Will Smith for a while now? It's still very wild how Will and Jada went from being one of the most beloved couples in Hollywood with everyone wanting that kind of love that they had to people clowning them and getting tired of their antics. Remember, it wasn't that long ago when they were the embodiment of enduring love in a cutthroat industry. But as soon as the entanglement drama dropped in 2020, child, the gig was up. Their whole image as a couple was ruined and people never looked at the two of them the same way again. The whole entanglement stirred up a lot of drama, especially for Will, because people couldn't believe that he just bent over and allowed another man to be with his wife like that. Even had given his blessing for the two of them to do so. I actually sat down with Will and had a conversation due to the transformation from their marriage to life partnership that they've spoken on several times and it, not involving romanticism. MHM. He gave me his blessing and I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life. However, despite the chaos, Will and Jada doubled down on their relationship and made it very clear that they were sticking it out together for life. But even though the two of them tried to make it seem like they were going to work on their marriage or their partnership at this point, a lot more stuff had happened since then that really got people talking about them and the crazy life partnership that they had going on. In 2023, Jada released a book telling all about their relationship and how it had been broken right from the beginning. Now, Will released his own book in 2021 where he talked about some infidelity and tension in their marriage, but yeah, Jada's book blew it straight out of the water. She revealed that they had been separated in all but names since 2016 and couldn't be living more different lives. However, despite the fact that she had gradually become unhappy in the relationship, Jada said one of the reasons she wasn't going anywhere was because she promised Will before they got married that there was never going to be a reason for divorce. Separation, yeah, but divorce, never. And this right here was the reason why they went ahead to marry without a prenup and why they decided to settle on a partnership instead of a conventional marriage. Will and Jada also had this thing going for them as a power couple and their brand together was so strong. So they didn't see the need to break all of that up. But y'all, here's where the partnership and separation got a little messy. While Jada was saying that they had been separated for a while and were having romantic relationships with others, people were side-eyeing the whole situation because it looked like Will Smith didn't get that memo and that there was no marriage left to fight for. Right before Jada's book came out, Will Smith got into what was probably the biggest scandal of his career when he got on stage and slapped the dog piss out of Chris Rock for his G.I. Jane joke that he said about Jada. Now, when people played the whole thing back, it was obvious that Will was okay with the joke at first. But as soon as he saw Jada's expression and realized that she wasn't having it, he marched up there and told Chris to keep his wife's name out of his mother effing mouth. And everyone rightfully came after Will. He was dropped from some of the movies he was going to star in at the time, lost a couple of brand deals, and had to drop an apology video in order to start rebuilding his image again. But guess what Jada did when her book came out? She fully separated herself from what Will Smith did and basically said that everything that happened had nothing to do with her. It was like, I can't force Will to do anything. You weren't together. We weren't together as, we were family. I was there with him as family, but we weren't together at that time. And that left a sour taste in people's mouths. It's one thing to not agree with what he did in private, but for Jada to not even at least try to back Will up publicly and support him just like he was supporting her, it made the internet realize that Will was in the marriage alone. And Jada had really checked out of the whole thing. But Will still showed up to support her and made it clear that he was going to keep showing up for her for the rest of his life. But since then, Will and Jada have rarely been seen out together unless it's something to do with their family. Will just dropped a new album and was seen performing on the streets of London like he was out touring or something. He even got very steamy with singer India Martinez on stage with everyone watching. They were all up on each other, and there's even pictures showing India backstage trying to jump into Will's arms like he isn't a merry man. The two of them are pretty much Instagram official, and it looks like they spent a lot of time together. I mean, Will Smith is doing everything other than sit at home and finally work on this bad marriage for life that he got going on with his wife. But word on the street is that the reason why Will has been away from home so much because there's nothing more left to work on. The PR of it all, the life partnership is not working. He has a woman that he's in love with, and she is not black, and he is now talking to lawyers. The issue, and so he is setting up to divorce Jada. Since Jada and August Alsina's entanglement was made very public, Will has had to face so much scrutiny, and his brand and career as actor was really put to the test. He's gone through a whole lot of public humiliation, and people no longer see him as this person that's got his ish together. Dear Will Smith, someone has to say it. Jada don't want you no more. When she bought the farm in Maryland and she decided that that was going to be her thing, you should have left her right here in the good state of Maryland. Let me tell you why. I think Jada married Will because obviously he was like a great catch, right? It's Will Smith. He's on the precipice of being this major superstar. He accomplishes all of those things. And I think she was pressured from family and friends and outside influences. I don't think it's what Jada wanted to do. Jada is not happy with herself. I think now that she's promoting her book Worthy and she's getting more in-depth about her relationship with Tupac that was platonic. But at one point he did ask her to marry him. She turned him down. So then he friend-zoned her. I think that's one of the biggest regrets of her life. And so Will is paying for all of that because Jada picked her second choice, or you know what I'm saying? Like he's the consolation prize. Like, okay, I'll take Will. However, even with all of the scrutiny, Will's brand and career has remained relatively intact. Jada hasn't done anything remotely helpful, at least not publicly, to keep Will's brand going. And you might even say that their whole marriage has been the biggest damage to his reputation so far. Some sources are even saying that Will realized that he may not need his marriage working out as badly as he had hoped, and he's much happier out of it than in it. And so, I'ma be honest with you. I am extremely happy that Will is finally waking up and seeing this for who she is. Word on the street is that the way Will's been moving, especially the kiss he had with India, is also the last straw for Jada. And since they have no prenup, one can assume that it'll be one messy divorce. But still, one thing that everyone can agree on is that this divorce was a long time coming. I will keep saying this forever. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett are what happens when you settle. Just because they like you doesn't mean it'll work. You both have to like each other with the same fervor. It's the happiest I've seen Will Smith. He just needs to tidy things up, like get a divorce and run for the hills. If they get divorced, it might be the best news and they can finally be free from each other. Their children are adults. Do you guys think Will and Jada will actually make that final move and get divorced? Share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe because I'll be seeing you in the next video. Bye, Betties.